Let's talk flour, folks. This humble ingredient is more than just a pantry staple. It's the foundation of baking. It's the heart and soul of countless culinary creations. From the simplest loaf of bread to the most intricate pastries, flour is the unsung hero. Bread, cakes, pastries, they all start with this simple ingredient. It's the starting point of a journey that ends in deliciousness. Flour gives structure, texture, and that irresistible aroma to our favorite baked goods. Imagine the smell of freshly baked bread wafting through your kitchen. Without it, we're just mixing wet ingredients into a soggy mess. Not appetizing, right? Flour is what turns chaos into culinary art. Think of flour as tiny building blocks. Each granule plays a role in creating the final masterpiece. Each type of flour, with its unique properties, creates a different kind of structure. All-purpose, bread, cake, whole wheat, each has its own story to tell. That's why choosing the right flour is crucial. It's like selecting the perfect tool for a job. It's like picking the right wood for a construction project. The wrong choice can lead to disaster. You wouldn't build a house out of balsa wood, would you? The same principle applies to baking. Flour's magic comes alive when it meets liquid. This is where the transformation begins. This interaction sets off a chain reaction, transforming a simple mixture into a baker's dream. The dough rises, becoming airy and light. The star of this transformation? A protein called gluten. More on that later. Gluten is what gives dough its elasticity and strength. So, whether you're a seasoned baker or just starting out, understanding flour is key to unlocking a world of delicious possibilities. Ready to dive in? Let's explore the wonders of flour together and elevate your baking game to new heights. Flour isn't a one-size-fits-all ingredient. Just like there are different types of wood, there are different flours, each with its own personality. Each type of flour brings its own unique characteristics to the table, influencing the texture, flavor, and structure of your baked goods. First up, we have bread flour. This one's a real workhorse, packed with protein, around 12 to 14%. This high protein content is what gives bread flour its strength and elasticity. That means more gluten development, resulting in chewy bread with a satisfyingly crusty exterior. The gluten network traps air bubbles, giving bread its structure and chewiness. Think sourdough, bagels, and pizza crust. All about that chew. These are the kinds of baked goods where you want a strong, elastic dough that can hold up to long fermentation times and high hydration levels. Next, we have all-purpose flour, the reliable middle child. With a moderate protein content, 10 to 12%, it's versatile enough for most baking needs. It strikes a balance between strength and tenderness. From cookies to cakes to muffins, all-purpose flour has got you covered. It's the go-to flour for everyday baking, providing just the right amount of structure without being too heavy. Now let's talk cake flour. This delicate flour with its low protein content, 6 to 8%, creates light and airy cakes. The lower protein content means less gluten formation, resulting in a tender crumb. Think angel food cake, delicate sponge cake, or fluffy biscuits, all about that tenderness. These baked goods benefit from a soft, fine texture that cake flour provides, making them melt in your mouth. Last but not least, we have whole wheat flour. This nutritious powerhouse is made from the entire wheat berry, giving it a slightly nutty flavor and a coarser texture. It's rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. It's a great choice for adding fiber and nutrients to your baked goods. Whole wheat flour can make your bread denser and more flavorful, perfect for those who prefer a heartier bite. Think whole wheat bread, hearty muffins, and rustic cookies. These baked goods not only taste great, but also offer a nutritional boost, making them a wholesome choice for any meal or snack. Remember that magical transformation we talked about? Well, gluten is the magician behind it all. This protein, found in wheat and some other grains, is what gives dough its elasticity and structure. Think of gluten as tiny, interconnected rubber bands. When flour is mixed with liquid, these rubber bands, or gluten strands, start to form. As you knead the dough, the gluten strands get longer and stronger, creating a network that traps air bubbles. This network is what gives bread its chewy texture and allows it to rise. The more you knead, the stronger the gluten network becomes, resulting in chewier bread. That's why we need bread dough but not cake batter. We want those cakes light and airy, not dense and chewy. Gluten is a fascinating protein with a powerful impact on the final texture of our baked goods. Understanding its role is key to mastering the art of baking. Flour isn't just about structure. It's the unsung hero in your kitchen, playing multiple roles that go beyond just holding your baked goods together. It plays a vital role in the overall taste, texture, and appearance of your baked creations. From the moment you start mixing, flour begins to work its magic. First and foremost, flour provides the foundation for the flavor profile of your baked goods. The type of flour you choose can dramatically alter the taste. Think about the subtle sweetness of cake flour versus the nutty undertones of whole wheat flour. Each type of flour brings its own unique taste to the table, making your choice crucial. Each type of flour brings its own unique taste to the table. Whether it's all-purpose, bread, or pastry flour, each has its own characteristics. Beyond flavor, flour contributes significantly to the texture of your baked goods. Remember those gluten strands? They form the backbone of your dough's structure. They're responsible for that satisfying chew in bread or the delicate crumb of a cake. The way flour interacts with water and other ingredients determines the final texture. And let's not forget about moisture. Flour acts like a sponge, absorbing liquid and ensuring your dough or batter has the right consistency. Flour acts like a sponge, absorbing liquid and ensuring your dough or batter has the right consistency. This balance is key to achieving the perfect bake. Too much liquid, and you'll end up with a sticky mess. This can make your dough difficult to handle and affect the final product. Too little, and your baked goods will be dry and crumbly. This can lead to disappointing results, no matter how good your recipe is. So, the next time you're baking, remember that flour is a multi-talented ingredient, contributing to much more than just the structure of your final product. It's the cornerstone of flavor, texture, and moisture, making it indispensable in the art of baking. Section 5. The hydration equation, flour and liquid tango. Baking is all about balance, and the relationship between flour and liquid is a prime example. This delicate dance, often referred to as hydration, is crucial for achieving the desired consistency in your dough or batter. Hydration refers to the ratio of liquid to flour in a recipe. Too much liquid, and you'll have a sticky, difficult-to-handle dough. Too little, and you'll end up with a dry, crumbly mess. The ideal hydration level varies depending on the type of flour and the desired outcome. For example, bread doughs typically have a higher hydration level than cake batters. This is because bread flour, with its high protein content, can absorb more liquid and still maintain its structure. Mastering the art of hydration takes practice and a good feel for the dough. Don't be afraid to adjust the liquid content slightly based on the feel of your dough to achieve the perfect consistency. Section 6. Flour Power Moves, Tips and Tricks. Ready to unleash your inner baking ninja? Here are some flour-focused tips and tricks to elevate your baking game. First up, accuracy is key. Invest in a kitchen scale and measure your flour by weight, not volume. This ensures consistent results every time. Remember, baking is a science. Next, store your flour properly. Flour can absorb moisture and odors from the environment, so store it in an airtight container in a cool, dry place. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try using different types of flour in your favorite recipes to see how it affects the texture and flavor. You might be surprised at the delicious results. Finally, remember that practice makes perfect. The more you bake, the better you'll understand how flour behaves and how to adjust your techniques accordingly. Section 7. Flour Faux Pas, Avoiding Baking Blunders. Even seasoned bakers make mistakes, but let's try to avoid some common flour-related blunders, shall we? First on the list, don't overmix. Overmixing develops too much gluten, resulting in tough, chewy baked goods. Mix until the ingredients are just combined, especially when working with cake batters. Next, avoid using the wrong type of flour. Remember, each flour has its own unique properties. Using bread flour in a cake recipe will result in a dense, chewy cake, not exactly what we're going for. Measure your flour accurately. Too much flour can make your baked goods dry and crumbly, while too little can make them dense and gummy. Remember, a kitchen scale is your best friend. Finally, don't be afraid to adjust. Humidity levels, oven temperatures, and even the age of your flour can affect your baking. Be prepared to make slight adjustments to your recipes as needed. Section 8. Flour Finale. Rise to the occasion. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of our flour-filled journey. We've covered a lot of ground, from the different types of flour to the importance of gluten and hydration. Remember, flour is a fundamental ingredient in baking, and understanding its nuances can significantly impact your culinary creations. So, embrace the power of flour, experiment with different types, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Now go forth and bake something amazing. And if you have any questions or flour-related conundrums, don't hesitate to ask. Happy baking!